got your attention, right? Now you may be thinking, it's not quite January just yet, but this does happen to be when we celebrate the church New Year, or at least the end of a church season and the beginning of another. Now, it also is Christ the King Sunday, when we celebrate that Jesus is King, that he came to be king not of an earthly kingdom, but a heavenly one, and over our hearts as well. So we have some crafts today that we're going to be working on that cover both of those elements. We're going to do a couple of crafts that we can use for the Church New Year celebration, and then there's also a craft that will go with Christ the King. So let's get started. Let's get started right away, or something like that. At any rate, we're going to make two of our New Year's themed crafts. Now, these both are something that could be a pinata or a celebratory firecracker, if you will, minus the fire. But the first one we're going to make is just a plain and simple pinata. So we're just going to use a regular paper bag. You can use any kind of paper bag that you like, any color or size or whatever. And we're going to decorate it and put some fun little treasures inside. So we're going to start off with our fun decorations, and we can just write something like Happy Church New Year. Not terribly creative, but you get the idea. And we can give it some extra fun flair. We can give it some stickers. You can decorate both sides. Now, this is just the basic version, of course, for timing purposes, as usual. We'll maybe throw on some fun little stickers here, because why not? And now, yes, these are totally random stickers, but that's okay. Now we're going to add our fun element in the middle. So, again, you can do both sides. But right now we're just doing one, but we're going to toss in some fun little prizes. I'm going to save one for my next activity as well, but just throw in some candy, maybe some little toys, maybe some pencils, whatever you happen to have. And you can also you can stuff it up. You can make it really big. Now, we're going to close it up, and you can do this in a couple of ways. You can twist it at the top and kind of make it that kind of pinata, or you can also roll it over and punch a couple of holes, and you can make some actually, you can make some hole punch confetti if you want to really get fun. There we go. And now we can string a ribbon through it. So now we have our exciting little pinata. And the idea is, if you've got something very small and harmless, such as maybe a paper towel tube or a ping pong paddle or something, then you could actually take turns hitting this like a pinata until it breaks open to reveal the marvelous treasures inside. So, there is your pinata number 1. Very fun. Now, pinata number 2 is not exactly a pinata. It's more like I guess it's just a party cracker. It's not a firecracker, but it's a party cracker. There's your pinata. So for this one, we're going to use a tube, a paper towel tube, or you could also use a toilet paper tube, just depending on how big you want this to be. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it and then tie it off, and it's something you can open up and have the treasure inside. So first, actually, we're going to put the treasure inside. Now, you can decorate this part if you want. Since it's going to get wrapped, I'm not going to right now, but however much time and energy you have fun with it. So I'm going to use some handy-dandy hole punch confetti, just to be really obnoxious, because who doesn't want confetti everywhere? And I'm going to put that in my tube. Now, of course, while you're filling the tube, you want to have one hand covering it so it doesn't all go exploding out the other end, but that's pretty much common sense. Now I'm going to toss in some prizes, some fun little items if they shall fit. And now I'm going to do the wrapping part. So I have already cut, ooh, a balloon. Let's put that in there too. That's fun. I've already cut off this piece of paper. So this is just wrapping paper. You could use construction paper or cellophane paper or whatever kind of paper you wanted to use. But I'm going to use this wrapping paper and I'm going to wrap it up like a present. And now what I'm going to do on the ends is I'm going to twist each end and tie it off with the ribbon. So you'll want a couple pieces of ribbon or pipe cleaner or string or whatever. And then if you would like to, you can snip off these little extra ends, or you can just leave them dangling like that. That is entirely up to you. Now, once I've got this all tied up and squared away, there we go. Now, this is where the fun part is. The festivities are, as you are having your whatever wonderful celebration you have, you're going to have your little party cracker, and at the appropriate moment, pardon me, you can twist it off. Now, I will definitely trim the ends there a little bit. That's a little bit much. You can do this a couple of ways, depending on how strong you are and how tightly tied this. You can just rip off one end and dump the contents out. You can twist off both ends. You can do it the traditional way and do it with someone else. Have one person grab one end and have the other person grab the other end and then pull until it rips apart and the fun contents spill out. Or if you're really super strong, you can also do it and twist the whole tube inside of the wrapping paper. Or do like a pinata and whack it around. There's multiple methods, but that's a fun kind of a celebratory pre-holiday excitement that you can have to celebrate the church New Year. So we've got a pinata, we've got a party cracker. Now on to Christ the King. Now, are there a lot of stories involving kings and crowns? Yes. Are there a lot of ways to make a crown? Yes. Is there a cat who wants to interrupt the video? Yes. But we're going to make a crown because Christ the King. Why not? So there's a few ways that you can do this as well. Oh, and I did not mention this, but if you would like to add a label to this, you are more than welcome to. Back to the crown. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit because I have the resources to be able to. So you may happen to be lucky, like me, and have a cool prefabricated crown, such as one of these. Or you could also use a Burger King crown. No product placement there at all, but it's fun. And by the way, you can totally go in and just ask for the crowns. They'll look at you weird, but usually they'll give it to you if the employee's in a good mood. Anyways, you can also trace the crown on paper and cut out strips of paper and fit that around the student's head and then decorate your crown that way. So because I have the easy peasy version, I'm going to go with the easy peasy version. And I'm going to use this fun little already cut out crown, but I'm going to add a couple of things to it because we're not just talking about any king, we're talking about Christ the King. So I'm actually going to add a little bit to this crown, including the words, Jesus is the King. Ta-da! And, of course, you can decorate that with all sorts of fun things as well. Let's just pretend I'm decorating it. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do too much decoration, but maybe you have these fun jewels. And we can put jewels on our fun crown. And perhaps you have some fun stickers or sparkly glitter, and you can put that on your crown and make it a sparkly crown. You can make this crown as decked out as you want it to be, as with anything. But we're also going to add a very important element, and you can do this in a couple of ways. Perhaps you have a wonderful cross like this. You can attach that cross to your crown perhaps you want to make your own cross from paper strips. You can do that as well, of course. So we're going to make our little cross and add it to my crown. And then with this guy, we're just going to, wow, those jewels do not want us down. We're just going to adjust it to however large or small a head we're fitting. And that will tell me where I might want to place my cross. And voila, we have a wonderful cross and crown to remember that Jesus is Lord and he is the King. And I can just attach this little guy however I want to, maybe even with a handy dandy pipe cleaner. But there's your, of course, this is just one way of celebrating that Jesus is the King. Ooh, there we go. Getting real fancy now. And my glue is also dying, but you get the idea. We are honoring the cross, honoring the King, the true King of everything, including our hearts. And then the extra fun with this is now you have something that you can take with you once the glue dries and wear it to remember that Jesus is the King. So have fun with that. Have fun with Christ the King Sunday and with Church New Year Sunday, or, well, really the end of the year and almost the beginning of the new one when Advent season begins. That's where the party really gets going. But hopefully this gives you some fun ideas to use with your students, whatever your ministry might be, whether it's at home with a couple kids or in a classroom with a bunch of them. These are bouncing off points for you to take, adapt, use, make it your own. And of course, as always, we have new videos every week with message and craft ideas. So please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go make some crafts, make some disciples. Have fun. We'll see you next time.